Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Raw review. So, you know, the show finally had Brock Lesnar on it. It's about time. We haven't seen him since the greatest Raw Rumble, and, popped up on this show. And I will say that I did like how they threaded him and Paul Heyman throughout the show, and it kind of had that Attitude Era, ruthless aggression vibe going on backstage. It's just a shame that it just, this doesn't happen every week. It happens only when Brock Lesnar's there. You get a little bit of a ruthless aggression feel to it. But it's not even like I'm sure this show is not even going to draw that big of numbers. Now, I might be wrong, and I might look like an idiot probably later on and watch like the show get the first 3.0 in years. But I did like it, and like I said, that's one of the things about me here in the YWC. I give credit where credit's due. That's something that a lot of other people don't do on here. They'll bash the show. Oh, it sucks. It's garbage. Reigns sucks, and you've heard everything time and time again if you watch other reviewers on here. But I'm gonna give the credit where credit's due. It actually looked like this show had a mission. It had like a reason to happen. The whole show was based around getting Brock Lesnar out to the ring. That he didn't care. He didn't want to face the fans. He was, he just wanted to be at home. He didn't have any interest in being at Raw or appearing before the crowd. And Angle said that Heyman had to get Brock Lesnar out there or he's going to lose his job. So there was something to this show. At least there was something existing on the show. It's just everything else that's surrounding the Brock Lesnar thing sucked. And I'm gonna talk about how they could have made it better. And this show was horrible. Aside from the times when Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman were on screen, this show was just abysmal. It was like almost every other show before it. Before we even got to the this night where actually some good stuff was taking place. They started off with Reigns cutting a promo saying, Brock doesn't want to come out there. Um, you know, Decent promo from Reigns, but I didn't really felt like this went anywhere. He says he's going to make Brock his bitch at SummerSlam. But, you know, look, there's not a problem with the promo. There's a problem just like where this went and what the promo, not what it consisted of, but just the surrounding events. Nothing really happened. Paul Heyman came out and basically said that, Brock is at the arena. He fulfilled his contractual obligations, but he's not going to come out there. He can't be bothered to come out there. And then, the segment just ends. It feels uneventful. Nothing really transpired. You didn't see, Reigns walking through the arena, searching for him. It just fell flat. Like they had all this other stuff planned out that was going to happen in the last segment. But the most integral part of SummerSlam and why they're doing all of this, you think that maybe the challenger Roman Reigns could be, factored into it somehow? You think maybe they might have tried to write something in here where maybe Reigns goes after Brock? No. You'll see physicality at the end of the show, but Roman Reigns is not going to be anywhere to be found. So I didn't really understand where they were going with this. So backstage, Paul Heyman tries to show Brock Lesnar what he said about him on his phone. I like this part where, he says, "Oh, just type in my passcode." And Lesnar just takes the phone and launches it across the room. It goes careening into a wall, probably breaking into a million pieces. That was pretty funny. I also liked how he was, he has feet up on the couch and he was reading a issue of Backwoodsman. I thought that was pretty good, a nice little touch, because Brock is kind of like that type of, You know, I gotta say, with all of this like stuff going on, you know, with Lesnar and trying to kind of exposing his personal life, and you know they're outright mentioning UFC. Why is there like no mention of his wife being Sable? I would think that this would be like an interesting fact, because I've noticed actually from talking to people, you know, when it's very rare, like I'm just saying, off of YouTube in my life where I find myself talking about wrestling. It's very few and far between, because I don't advertise it. You know, I don't tell people that I really do this on YouTube, and I don't really put it out there that I'm a wrestling fan. You know, once in a while, I mean, I might walk around in like a wrestling T-shirt. You know, but it wasn't as evident that I am a wrestling fan, like say when I was back in high school or my early days of college, where you would just be able to see it. I had like a wrestling shirt on every day. It was, you know, quite obvious where my bread was buttered. But you know, not a lot of people know that Brock Lesnar is married to one of the most popular WWE divas of all time in Sable, Rena. You know, she used to be called, you know, Rena Mero, but uh, I don't know why they wouldn't take the opportunity to say that Brock Lesnar is married to a former women's champion, especially with all this pro-women stuff going on with the pay-per-view and everything. And also, that seemed like it really took a back seat. You know, last Raw we were all revved up about the Evolution pay-per-view. This week it was like a fleeting memory. They mentioned it, they promoted it, but it wasn't really like talked about so much this week. Baron Corbin defeated Finn Balor. Balor just, man, just jobbing Balor out here. And you guys know I don't have a problem with that, but it's like they try to present Balor like he's a star in a way, like not well, but you see that like by showing him every week, making it a point. They really want to make, and he's on all the promotional posters, he's on their trucks and everything. When an event is going to be in your town, you see a picture of Finn Balor there for the Raw brand. But they make no effort in trying to build this guy. He'll like get one like win, sometimes, and then they'll just have him obliterated by like Braun Strowman. Like, this is what I'm saying. They made like a few months ago, this guy was just a hair away from beating Braun Strowman. And now he's losing to Baron Corbin, the laughing stock in the WWE, the guy who failed at cashing in the money in the bank case. I mean, so he lost to that guy. So, and then after the match, they gave him like a brutal beatdown. Baron with some punches to the head. I mean, straight up, it looks to me like once again they want to bury Balor. I don't get this. Like, Kane returned. Remember at the beginning of the year they had him tombstone Balor, and we're all like, oh well, that's it for Balor. And then all of a sudden they started like pushing him back up again. So like, what is it? Like, do they want to promote Balor? Do they want to make this guy a big star? What happened? I thought he was supposed to be the big LGBT poster boy. If they did that, if they had the guts to do that, then Balor would have maybe been the most popular guy in the company. They would have gotten a host of new viewers, but they're cowardly. Y'all know that McMahon does not want to try anything new. He's scared. He wants to keep the same crowd. He's scared that maybe if he does an LBGT gimmick, perhaps, then maybe it might offend people that disagree with that, and that's going to make people not want to watch the show. I don't know what McMahon thinks. From what I'm hearing, he's so busy with his, XFL rebirthing that he didn't even remember who the champions were or whatever, or he didn't even remember what happened on the last pay-per-view. So it's like, you really see what we're dealing with here now in the WWE. We're not really dealing with a reliable source, but with Vince McMahon. He's, not really in the best frame of mind now. It doesn't seem like he has the best memory. He was out there last week with caked on makeup. They looked like they kind of just wheeled him out. Didn't really have much to say. I mean, what is wrong with McMahon? McMahon would take any chance he got to steal the spotlight, and I didn't have a problem with that because, hey, Vince deserved to be out there. He was one of the greatest characters of all time, but now to see how he's running this company, it's such a joke. And I don't know how we got from talking about Finn Balor to McMahon, but I'm just saying this is the guy who runs the show. He wanted to get behind Balor. He wanted to take a chance on, an LBGT gimmick with Balor. And like I said, I support that all the way. They go with something that would have brought in a new segment of the audience, but he was way too cowardly to commit to it. Back in the day, you would have McMahon, who is, this is a guy that challenged God in the tag match. He wouldn't be scared to do anything out of the ordinary, but, I don't really understand what his obsession is. Why he seeks to be accepted by at this age, of all ages, when most people probably would have long retired. Why is he so obsessed with just having, this accepting perception of the company, like in the business world? Like, why does it have to be like, I already said this like last week or the week before. Wrestling is always going to be perceived as lowbrow trailer park entertainment. So, it's just, if you like watching it, then that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I find it to be entertaining. Not so much anymore, but you get what I'm saying. But there's always going to be people that are just going to say that, this is just foolishness. It's just men running around, hitting each other in their underwear. So you're never going to have this widely accepted, no matter how many different things you do. So you might as well have fun with it, by God. And it's just like if I ran a wrestling company, I'd try to have as much fun as possible. And people say, oh, Brad, you should be writing for the WWE and that. And the thing is, thank God I don't. Because I'll be quite honest with you, I wouldn't know how to book a show, this many days out of the year. The fact that I have to come up with a new Raw and a new SmackDown every single week, and not only that, work with a big team where there's so many different ideas being passed back and forth, and half of them are probably not even used, and probably half of them are probably even more terrible than what actually makes it onto the show. I'm just saying, it would probably be a maddening experience, and so I'm saying I would not want to do that, and I probably wouldn't be good. I'd have a few good ideas I mentioned in these videos, but to put them into practice every single week, I'm not going to be egotistical and say I could do that. But, I think even a kindergartner at this point could probably come up with better concepts and a better show on a weekly basis than what... I mean, this is beyond the bare minimum. This is not even bare minimum. This is not even bottom of the barrel. This is just, complete ineptness. They're not even trying at all to make this entertaining. I mean, if you told me, if I wasn't familiar with what was going on in WWE right now, I would say, well, this is supposed to be entertainment, because it doesn't look that way to me. This is just like unentertaining. So I don't know what you'd consider it. So up next you had Alicia Fox returning, and she defeats Natalya. Now, okay, I don't have a problem with this. So Ronda Rousey just kind of has a quiet return. She's back from suspension. She beats the shit out of Kurt Angle. She has to be like taken out by security. And I put it over. I said it was awesome. I said this was great and everything. And, credit where credit's due, like always. So she comes back. Alicia Fox beats Natalya. Okay, and so where are we going now? You've got Alexa Bliss accompanying Alicia Fox. So then after the match, Alicia Fox beats the ever-loving shit out of Ronda Rousey. Throws her into the barricade, beats her up. Rousey is left laying. She just came back from suspension. She should be going on a mad tear to go after Alexa Bliss. And okay, backstage they made a match between Rousey and Alicia Fox. You know, Rousey was fuming and everything. They were trying to get her heat back and everything, but they're probably trying to bridge a story. They, of course, you know, okay, they're trying to make a story here for the match next week with Alicia Fox and Rousey. But you don't have the baddest woman on the planet getting beat up by a girl who doesn't even appear on the show. Okay, I think she was injured, but even before she was injured, she was never on the show. Prior to Survivor Series, when she was doing that whole captain's routine, she wasn't even on the show prior to that. Remember I said that? I said they weren't even showing her. You know, her last prominent time was when they were making her part of the Bellas during that whole, like, 3-woman tag thing that they were doing. You know, at the beginning of the women's revolution. So, and if all the girls, like, it's not even Alexa Bliss, like the person that she's going to be challenging at the pay-per-view for the title, which is SummerSlam, by the way, not just a pay-per-view, like the pay-per-view. It's not even Alexa Bliss, where it would have made a little bit of sense. It's Alicia Fox, like a jobber, like just a regular mid-card girl that has nothing to do with, like, any of the recent feuds or storylines, if you could call them that. And she's beating her up. I'm like, this is like a joke. You want to promote Rousey. You want to make her the biggest thing. She's the biggest name. She's the biggest acquisition. And I said that they were actually doing a good job with her. I said the only thing that I had a complaint about was that, you know, they kept suspending her every week. They were biding time. They'd have a good segment, then they'd suspend her because they couldn't figure out what to do with her next week. And so the week that she decides to come back, there's little fanfare. There's really nothing going on, you know, or anything. They're not, like, even hyping it up big time. She just appears at ringside, and then she gets beat down by Alicia Fox, like one of these lower mid-card stars. I mean, this is what I'm saying. It's like, okay, McMahon is still at the helm, so whose, like, decision is this? Is this maybe Stephanie or something? Who's responsible for this here? Because this is total irresponsibility. You have this big star, you're on the cusp of a big pay-per-view, and you're probably going to want to put Ronda Rousey at the top of the marquee when you've got this big old WWE Evolution pay-per-view going. And you're going to have her get beat up by Alicia Fox, have her look weak at the hands of Alicia Fox. I seriously couldn't believe what I was watching. I was, like, rubbing my eyes. I, you know, rewound the footage. I was like, huh? Like, this is really how they planned her return? She's going to just, you know, look bad in front of, like, the whole audience, in front of the viewers. Like, just Alicia Fox. Really. Where the only thing that the announcers could think to say, oh, she's a former champion. Yeah, like 8 years ago. I can go on and on about how stupid of a decision this is. I mean, how dumb it makes, you know, Rousey look. It makes her look like she's just any other girl on the roster when she's not. She's supposed to be their star player. She's supposed to be the face of the women's division, probably going to be the next champion. Anyway, we've got Elias performing in the middle of the ring. Lashley starts singing along, and then he just beats up Elias. Like, is Elias not allowed to have any heat here? Is this where we're going? So Lashley, you know, all this big build, he beats Roman Reigns, you know, the guy that beat Cena, the guy who beat The Undertaker, the guy who beat everybody under the sun, the multi-time WWE champion, right? So, now they're just going to have Lashley go out there, sing a little bit, then just beat up on Elias. I mean, like, two things here. Why is this feud necessary? You already, like, put Lashley at the top of the card. Now you're going to drag him back down to the mid-card with Elias. And the thing is with Elias is they're not even giving this guy a chance. I mean, you know, you released this guy's album and everything. It should have been a big thing. They didn't even try to promote this album or anything. It was just like, oh, by the way, I've got an album coming out next week. And I was just like, when he said that 2 weeks ago, I was like, he is? And I'm like, you know, I remember when they would just release the WWE, like the music albums, and they'd make sure that they hard sold those babies. Now, you know, now where the album is actually a part of someone's character and storyline, and you're not even going to give ample time to build that up. So, you know, just Lashley beats him. So I guess, you know, that's a match there for some. That's a match. They've got nothing to do. Let's just pair two random guys up. Backstage, you had, oh, no, not yet. We had Jinder Mahal defeating Braun Strowman by countout. Kevin Owens stole the briefcase, you know, and then Braun ran after him. And, you know, this is what we're doing with Jinder. Okay, so we already know. I've already ranted extensively on Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman and just like how they're biding time and they could be doing more with Strowman. And I said, you know, I've gone back and forth about this numerous times. Does it really need to be said? The man toppled off the top of a steel cage, you know, just mere weeks ago, and he's walking around like he's fine, running away. Okay, you know, the guy nearly, like, gets killed, and, you know, here he is. He just fine mere weeks later. Whatever, you know, nice sell job, but you know, Jinder Mahal, I don't know what they're doing, if maybe they're listening to what culture or what have you. You're taking this guy that had this natural heat to him. You know what I'm saying? He had the normal, you know, he had that traditional heat going on, you know, where he's the foreigner and that he's not being respected and they boot him. And he's, you know, the body like $1,000,000. And what happens here? What exactly are we looking at here? We're looking at a guy that's being so criminally misused. And like I said, I don't know if it's that they're listening to the smart marks and that, you know, oh, Jinder, oh, there wasn't proper bill for him to be champion. What a terrible run. You know, and I just sit there and I'm like, is AJ Styles much better of a champion than Jinder Mahal, in all honesty? Is the 1,001 Nakamurphy matches, you know, not enough to really prove that? You know, what an exciting champion, right? You know, what a great run. It was really worth taking it off a guy that had natural heat like Jinder Mahal. And they're just doing this stupid gimmick with him, you know, the chanty stupid ass thing. And like, here he is. Okay, so, you know, he didn't lose here. He won, but like, you know, they used him just like it was comedic. Like, oh, you know, Braun Strowman just happened to run out of the ring and Jinder, you know, happened to win. So I'm just like, this guy should be cutting full-fledged promos. He should be involved in the bigger feud where he just seems like a novelty act. You know, it's supposed to be funny or something that, you know, he's trying to be like this calm type of guy, you know, trying to calm people down with the shanty stuff, but like, no one's laughing. It's always been this way for how many years already, where we have these gimmicks where we're all supposed to like find all this stuff to be fucking hilarious, but no one's actually laughing at it at all. Like, does anybody really find any charm in these gimmicks at all? I know there's defenders out there and everything who think that this is one of the best times in WWE history, so come out here and tell me in the comments, like, is this a good gimmick? Is this funny? Do you really get like genuine, you know, legit entertainment value out of stuff like this? Because I just don't see how anybody could be entertained by like a gimmick like this. Is smartly written. I mean, this is what you do with a former champion. I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe they think they fucked up by making. Oh, they're mad, so maybe they're trying to just like push him as far down as they possibly can. I mean, if that's what they're gonna do with him, then you might as well just fire him. I never understood that. If you're ashamed to have somebody on your roster, then why even have them there at all? Mojo Rawley was backstage with Bobby Roode, and you know, I didn't really get like how they shot this segment. I kind of liked how I like this what they're kind of doing with Mojo, where he's a guy that's kind of like demanding respect. He's a big tough guy. He's a bully. You know, he walks in the locker room. We got to see Zack Ryder, who, you know, for some reason the guy looks like, you know, what by far one of the best physiques currently in WWE, even better than Bobby Roode, Zack Ryder. But you know, just stay back there, Zack, and do absolutely nothing. You know, you come out there and you get a huge pop, but you know, stay back there, please. You know, wouldn't want anybody getting a big pop, right? Wouldn't want anybody getting over. So they get into a little fight, and it's like the camera just like, you know, peeked down at them, and it was just weird. They were just kind of like rolling around. It looked more like a cat fight. I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, just like a few months ago, I was watching Ivory and Tori when they did the hardcore match backstage, and it looked similar. That's how it was. Ivory was on top of Tori, or like vice versa, and they were just kind of fighting. There was no real punches or anything. It looked like a bitch fight. It really did. So, you know, I'm not really getting this feud. It's very like cookie cutter. You got a problem with me? Like, I don't know. They have not been making Bobby Roode look good at all. I mean, this has got to be one of the least fulfilling runs I've ever seen. Like, they did 10 times a better job with AJ Styles. I'm not even saying they did a very good job, you know, introducing him and everything. But, I mean, they did so much of a better job with him than Bobby Roode. I mean, this guy, like, they're making him look like a joke. Everybody knows who this guy is. Everybody, you know, is a Bobby Roode fan who watched TNA pretty much. You know, most people have somewhat of an inkling of who he is. And then again, you probably have people who haven't watched in years who don't know who he is. So you have a lot of opportunity to take a guy with a lot of genuine charisma, a guy that looks this great, who looks like a star, and really make a chance to get this guy over big time. You've already got fan support for him. But, you know, it's still glorious. And now they're even making fun of it with Mojo. What are you going to catchphrase me into submission? Exactly. And like I said, it's one thing with The Rock and his catchphrases because he backed them up and he did it in such a way where he didn't look like a goof. With Bobby Roode, he looks like a goof every time. I mean, just every single time he's out there, they have him job out. They make him look stupid. And, you know, I don't even see how this segment helped him any. It was, you know, this little brief segment. Like, Bobby Roode should be like a cornerstone of the show. And somehow, some way, they've managed to fuck that all up and not utilize the guy in an effective manner at all. They're not even utilizing him. It was like the few weeks that went by that we didn't even see Bobby Roode. And last week, I'm comfortable in my own skin. Like, you know, what? Like, are we honestly even trying to make an effort here to even, you know, try to make Bobby Roode seem like he deserves to be there at all? I mean, like, this is what I'm saying. It's like, what is McMahon doing? What is he approving? Okay, let's just get right to the next thing, because I'm not done bitching about the show yet. Apollo Crews beats one of the authors of pain. So we can't even have a dominant tag team. That's not even allowed. You know, whoever it was, Toka, Razor, I don't know which guy it was. I think it was probably Toka or something. Let's just say that for the sake of argument. Apollo Crews, who's like a foot shorter than this guy. I know that Apollo Crews is built, but still, the roll-up victory on him, Are we really still trying to get, Titus Worldwide over? I think they've done a fine job of, making sure that everybody knows that they're just a jobber tag team. But you bring in this new team, Authors of Pain. They're imposing. They look like they should just be tag champs already. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, these guys are just hanging around beating jobbers, and this went on for like a solid month. Now it's like Titus Worldwide beats them up. They want to then, guide them, and now then the Authors of Pain start calmly talking to them. Now we're back to fighting again, and this time they lose. Like, I don't understand. Like, you don't think it would be a smart idea to probably protect such a tough team like this and probably not have them lose. But then again, you have Alicia Fox beating the shit out of Ronda Rousey, a girl who could probably tie Alicia Fox into a pretzel. This is what I'm saying. If you try to analyze the logic, you'll just destroy your brain. Like, it will explode inside your head. Seth Rollins defeated Drew McIntyre by disqualification. So, it's like, okay, so, we're not really doing much with Drew. We're not doing much with Ziggler. They attack him during a backstage promo. Whatever. Just going around in circles. After a 30-minute Iron Man match, we're just going to have a regular match at SummerSlam. Is that not like backwards or something? Like, we just had a gimmick match. Now we're just going to have a plain old match. Right. I mean, this is beyond stupid looking. I mean, like, you just watch these guys wrestle for 30 minutes. Now we're probably going to see them wrestle another 30 minutes, but this time there's just going to be one fall. And then we're going to have to suspend our disbelief that they're not going to be pinning each other. So in the last match, they pinned each other within the first 5 minutes. Now we're not going to see a pinfall until probably, 26 minutes into the match. And we're probably going to see a lot of the same moves that, got the guys pinned in the Iron Man match, but they're probably going to be kicking out of fucking everything at SummerSlam. Oh, because it's a big SummerSlam match. It's probably what the excuse they're going to use. I mean, like, they just do some feuds that just seem to be going on and on forever and ever, and they just have, like, no hope of ever ending. And, like, the feuds are not even over. They're not even doing well. They're not entertaining anybody. And they still insist on carrying them out even further. Why would you drag out a feud that's not even over? Why would you drag out a feud or a storyline that no one has any interest in seeing? This reminds me of the Bray Wyatt Finn Balor storyline. It's like, is anybody even watching this anymore? Roman Reigns gets escorted out of the building. He gets a shot in on Baron Corbin. So, and we're going to talk about this later on, so I'll save the rant. So, Reigns is taken out by security. And that's it for him for tonight. I mean, he's gone. He's not going to be featured on the rest of the show. So, that's a smart idea. Take the guy who's going to be main eventing at SummerSlam. Take him out of the building. Get him out of there. Okay. The Revival comes out and interrupts the promo between the B team, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. So for weeks the Revival has just been standing around backstage, nodding at a TV screen. So these guys are over, right? I mean, the nod, the inquisitive nod, that's gonna get them over. Oh, that's going to be huge. Who came up with that one? Triple H? Stephanie? Maybe Vince himself? Watching it on the screen. So, I mean, good God almighty. I don't know what to tell you guys. So, it's like, then the Revival has a match against Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, and then they beat them. So, you know, like, okay, let's just keep jobbing them out. Why not? You know, so there's 3 losses in a row for Matt and Bray. Sasha and Bayley defeated the Riot Squad. So after all these weeks, you know, of Sarah Logan getting her first ever win on Ember Moon, I guess it doesn't matter anymore because Bayley and Sasha just like roll in there and just, you know, beat them down. Okay, so that was a waste of everyone's time. Thanks for wasting our time building up. And, you know, Ember Moon's not even on this show this week. So, you know, you know, well, we got a big pay-per-view coming. Oh, it's going to be great. I'm being told by people it's going to be awesome in the comments. Oh, it's gonna be a great show. Oh, is it? Oh, is it now? The WWE Evolution is going to be a great show. Is it? I mean, it's the first ever women's pay-per-view. It's not like there was ever a TNA Knockouts pay-per-view or anything like that that featured all women. So it's totally original, guys. Totally original. All right. So now the pay-per-view is going to be great. No need for concern. No need for concern. No, pay-per-view is going to be great, guys. Going to be fantastic because, you know, they just have such a firm hold on this women's division. They know exactly what they're doing. So, oh yeah, before we get to the last Lesnar segment, I forgot to mention this before. Before Lesnar threw Paul Heyman's phone, Paul Heyman had asked Brock, did he see what Roman Reigns said about him, right? So, Brock says, no, I didn't, and I don't care because I don't watch the show. Why would I watch the show? Oh my God. They just pretty much had Brock Lesnar say on Monday Night Raw, not in the WWE.com exclusive, right there on the show, that it sucks and that he's not watching it. Why should I watch the show? Good question. But why would somebody who even works there, why if somebody who works there wouldn't watch the show, why should somebody who doesn't watch it? I mean, wow. Did they really? Just like, I mean, Brock probably got that in there because they're not going to say shit to him. I mean, obviously, look how far he's coming out making an appearance. So no one's going to say anything to him. So he says that. I thought that was fucking funny. So he comes out there. Kurt Angle told Paul Heyman to get out. Finally, you have Brock Lesnar showing up. He grabs Kurt Angle, F5s him. Finally, like I said, what I was saying for months. Finally, they got out of the whole entire rut of having Paul Heyman stand there cutting a promo for Brock. And throughout the night, you know, you had Brock grabbing Paul Heyman by the collar. So he F5 Kurt Angle. Then, you know, Paul Heyman's all happy. Then he grabs him by the throat. You know, and he starts choking him down, or like he grabbed him by the face or whatever. I kind of thought he was going to F5 him as well, but, you know, I don't know. I guess maybe Heyman didn't want to take the F5, whatever it is. So, you know, it was good that we got something a bit different. I'm not sure if Brock totally turned on Heyman here. He just kind of grabbed him like he already did backstage, but it was something a little bit different. And, you know, you would think that maybe, like I was going to say, you know, at the beginning of the show, that maybe Roman Reigns would be involved in some way in this. Maybe he, like, runs out to the ring, he gets past security, and just before he manages to touch Brock Lesnar, security manages to just, like, tackle him to the ground. Why not do something like that to build the drama? There I said I can write the show if I tried. But I'm saying that right there would be a better idea. Something to get Roman Reigns in this storyline. Instead of it just all being about like Kurt Angle wanting to fire Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, they could have added a little something extra, but they chose not to. I mean, it was okay for what it was. I mean, finally having Brock speak after being a mute for years, that was very refreshing. Seeing Kurt Angle get F5, you know, and like Brock sort of turning on Paul Heyman made it a little bit more exciting than usual. But this whole show, man, was trash. What else besides the Brock segments was there to really enjoy or look forward to? I mean, am I supposed to put over the fact that Ronda Rousey was made to look like a total nothing at the hands of Alicia Fox? Am I supposed to put that over? Am I supposed to say I enjoyed that? Because I didn't. Why would I enjoy seeing somebody that's over like Ronda Rousey getting beat up by Alicia Fox, who hadn't even been there in months? And okay, she had a little thing at Survivor Series, but she wasn't even on Raw for like a year or two. And this is the girl of the... Unless they're planning on having Alicia Fox be a super mega heel, she's not even booked for SummerSlam. Rousey is booked to face Alexa Bliss, who she shouldn't even be getting beat up by the way. You know, if anything, they should make sure that Alexa and Rousey are separated until then. Just cut promos or do whatever you have to do and let Rousey kick everyone's ass. She should have tore Alexa Bliss apart, and they probably will do that in the match next week, but that will just lead me to say, why the fuck did they do what they did this week? And why was it so aggressive? Alicia Fox taking Rousey and banging her into the back. That's what Rousey should be doing to her. Well, I don't know, guys. You know, we can complain about this, but the show it's not going to change. It's still going to be a shitty show at the end of the day. But, you know, just my thoughts, just what I thought. I mean, you know, hey, like Brock Lesnar threaded out throughout the show. I mean, it showed a little bit of effort. It was good, you know, but the rest of the show, I mean, you know, the other 2 hours and 40 minutes or whatever were fucking horrendous. Anyway, guys, this has been your Raw review. This is your YWC champ, and I'm signing out. And please remember to subscribe and click the bell so you get the notifications on the videos. And check out my other videos on the channel, because if maybe the wrestling is not appealing to you, you could probably check out one of my game reviews, my movie reviews. Check out, I've got a lot of variety here on this channel anyway, guys. See you next time.